A lot of earnings out here today. But first, folks, we got a great guest. We have Tim McDermott. Tim is the General Counsel and Chief Regulatory Officer of Nadex. He also is the appointed CEO designate, the new CEO designate of Nadex, and he's going to assume that position when they get a successor for his General Counsel. Tim has been with Nadex since 2008. He has 17 years in litigation and compliance experience, most recently as Director and Corporate Counsel for the CME, the Chicago Merc. Tim McDermott, welcome to TFNN.
Thanks, Tom. Happy to be here.
It's so great to have you. And, you know, I want to thank you so much for the great sponsorship. You know, bottom line, it is the only regulated exchange, binary exchange in the United States, that's for sure. And, you know, I didn't know that you had come out of the CME, and I guess I should have known that. We love your product, though. I mean, it's interesting when I look, you know, there's many people that, whether they've been trading 10, 20, 30 years. I remember the CME when the CME was small, and now, of course, it's the monster, okay? And I suspect that's what's going to happen with Nadex in the coming years.
Well, that's certainly our goal. We're here to always do our best and try to take some action.
Yes. You know, I saw the press release a couple days ago, and what the press release was about was that you were adding a liquidity provider, a market maker, Group 1 Futures Trading, LLC. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Group 1 is one of the largest proprietary options market-making firms in the country. Really great partner for us, and we're really looking forward to bringing them on as a market maker here in particularly our U.S. equity index products and some of our other commodity products. We think they'll do a great job of adding not just adding liquidity, but bringing in our spreads and giving our market participants basically even better markets to trade in.
You know, when you look back at all exchange histories, you know, I remember, Tim, and folks sitting at the SIBO, and if folks ever realized, you know, I mean, the SIBO was always doing a lot of trades, but if they realized how small, it wasn't small, but in the context of what all these exchanges are now, once the growth starts coming into them, it's kind of exponential. You know, years ago, people would only trade equities. Now it seems that, well, actually, if you look at Ackman, they're taking over a company, and he basically did it yesterday. Well, he did the trade yesterday inside the option market, which is amazing. Yep.
Yeah, we think that just like the CBOE and other exchanges over the years that have maybe in some cases taken a little bit of time to catch on, but over time they've really caught on, become popular, not just with institutional users, but also the retail traders, the smaller market participants who look to trade for their own account. And we think Nadex is not just well positioned to follow the same path, but we think Nadex is actually really sort of the perfect exchange for those smaller traders to come to and learn how to trade not just Nadex products, but they have a chance to follow the products that are traded on the CME and some of the other exchanges that we offer, where we offer binary options based on those other contracts, and they can really develop a familiarity with those other markets as they're trading at Nadex.
Yeah, it's a great point. And in particular, you know, and folks, if you haven't test drove the Nadex product yet, you're at our website at TFNN. You can see the banner on the top and the side. You can hit that banner, bring the account up. It takes all of 3 or 4 minutes. They'll put $25,000 of funny money into your account. You're going to be able to use that in order to understand how the product works. You just brought up a great point, because what does happen, I think one of the large questions that we get a lot, right, is that, can you explain how there's not someone that's trading on the other side of you, that it is a retail exchange, that we have a bid, we have an offer. Can you explain that a little, how the exchange works, Tim?
Sure, Tom. Well, we work just like other regulated exchanges here in the United States. So when somebody wants to trade on Nadex, they're not trading opposite a dealer. They're not trading basically in a manner consistent with the over-the-counter dealing market, but they're putting an order onto an exchange. So anytime they put an order in to buy at a certain price, they need a seller who's willing to sell at that same price to match opposite their order and to have a trade executed. So really it works just like an order book on any exchange where you have buyers and sellers coming together and bids and offers are matched by the exchange. The exchange isn't a party to the trade. We're simply taking the buyers and the sellers, matching them up, and we're the place where that trade happens.
And folks, when you test drive it, what you will see is this, as Tim was just explaining, you will actually see, okay, if you're splitting the bid in the offer, folks, on the exchange, what you're going to see, what you're not used to, like, Tim, the active traders would be used to this. If you have a larger account, meaning they can see their bids and offers. But what is so cool on your exchange is that, folks, if you are going under the offer bid or over the bid, you are going to see your order immediately up there. Okay, so you know that you are the exchange. Another question that we always get asked, not always, but people always want to know, the safety of their money, the regulatory aspect. Can you talk a little bit about the regulation that you have? And
Sure.
Awesome.
Sure. Yeah. So we are regulated by the CFTC, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. We are both an exchange and a clearinghouse. So we are regulated in that manner by the CFTC. So any monies that are deposited with the exchange with Nadex are actually held in our clearinghouse, the Nadex clearinghouse, which holds those funds in compliance with all of the rules and regulations that the CFTC has established for holding those funds. So they're kept segregated in a segregated account, separate and apart from the exchange's funds, and they're subject to the protections that are set forth in the Commodity Exchange Act for those funds.
You were at the CME. When you saw this Nadex exchange come about, meaning that there could be exchange that you could actually be wrong in a certain amount of hours, and because your trade is your stop, okay, meaning that, just like in an option market, okay, there's a defined risk. What did you think of the new exchange? I can tell you, I was in Chicago, and this was before before it was Nadex, I think. And I remember seeing this. I'm saying to myself, this is an amazing way to trade. But what did you think when you saw that this type of new exchange?
Well, I think it provides a great alternative to what I think are really great, the other exchanges that have previously existed here in the United States, the CME, the Board of Trade, the NYMEX. These are all great exchanges, and they all offer great products.
Yes.
But they offer a different product than what Nadex offers. And
right.
Because Nadex contracts, as you say, have limited risk on both the downside for the buyer and the upside for the seller as the market moves, nobody who trades on Nadex ever gets a margin call. You can never, you never put at risk more than the money that you put up for the trade. And so it really is a different kind of market for folks to trade in, where they don't have to worry about putting a position on and then the next day getting a margin call from their broker for an extra $2,000, $5,000, $100,000. This is a market where you know your risk going into every single position, and you can't lose more than you put at risk. So when I first saw the kind of products that Nadex offered and the way this market works, it really struck me as the perfect market for not just the active traders who like the volatility in the contracts and like the scope of and the breadth of the products and like the nature of the products that are offered, but also for those newer traders who haven't really had an opportunity to get to the point where they're comfortable putting themselves at risk of margin calls, and they'd like the extra protection that binary options provide on the downside. Yeah,
there's no doubt, because depending, folks, whether you're trading the SPY or you're trading the E-mini future, bottom line is that most times you don't want to be in that if it's going to go like 7 or 8 points away from you, either up or down. And the reality is, inside that Nadex product, you can stay in that product because you have that defined risk, which is just amazing. Well, and it's particularly been amazing because we got great volatility back in the market. I mean, volatility is the trader's best friend, there's no doubt.
Absolutely, and that's actually one of the nice things about the binary options is not only do they provide that downside risk to the trader, but they also really provide a lot of trading opportunities in volatile markets because of the nature of the binary contract, particularly as you get closer to expiration. The price on a binary option can move considerably relative to the underlying, and it really provides a lot of interesting trading opportunities for people who are in the market.
Well, you know what we have seen firsthand, and the listeners have seen firsthand live, is that when we have most of the time this has happened kind of with the Google, because the option, the future market is opened a little bit longer than 4 o'clock. When Google is coming out with its numbers, that market moves, and it moves very quickly. So it's a great way that you can, if in fact you're long and or short, it's a great way that you could actually go delta neutral if you wanted to with that announcement. And of course, I suspect what's going to happen over the years is that that's where professional traders, and I understand the retail product is absolutely awesome, but that's where I can see the professional traders will really get their head wrapped around that, because that is there's no doubt, well, to me, that is the least expensive way to go delta neutral with those huge earnings numbers coming out.
And again, that's why these products are really, I think, so interesting, particularly the binary options, because they really can appeal to a broad spectrum of traders, from the retail trader to the more sophisticated trader, it provides both trading opportunities, some hedging opportunities, some really interesting opportunities in terms of positions you can structure sort of around a particular strike price with the binary options, or around a particular level where you want some protection.
And what happens, folks, is this: you can trade indices, you can trade commodities, and I want to get into the currencies now, because I know there's a lot of folks that trade currencies. And what happens with the currencies, folks, okay, when you trade currencies, ticks are worth a fortune. Can you talk a little, Tim, about the currency product? Because I know that the yen product is just they're all great products, but the yen, because the yen has had so much movement, that yen product is something that people really like to look at.
Yeah, and we've had some growing interest in our yen contracts. We've added additional strikes, particularly during the overnight period. Our markets are available 23 hours a day. We close for a period of time in the evening for 1 hour, but these markets are available 23 hours a day from Sunday evening through Friday afternoon. And the currency markets have been really our most active markets for the past several weeks, and frequently our most active markets. The equity index markets can get real interesting at times as well, but certainly the FX markets have been rocking lately, and we expect to see additional growth there as well.
Yeah, no, I can see it, because, of course, what does happen is the currency markets in general have been the Wild West for quite a while, right? And it's really neat that you can trade currencies inside a regulated exchange.
Yep. Yeah. So again, we list binary options and what we refer to as our spread contracts on a wide range of, I think we have 10 different currency pairs that we offer as underlyings. The majors, as well as some cross rates, and there's always some market that's of interest. There's always a market that's moving in the currencies somewhere, and particularly when you're looking at the binaries, because of, as I mentioned earlier, the price action that you get in those binary options, particularly as you get closer and closer to expiration.
Now, can you talk a little bit about the aspect of, in Europe, binary options have been around for a long time. And in fact, when I look back at my own trading career, I realized that, whether it was 20, 25 years ago, the Europeans always really traded futures more than we did. And then, of course, we caught up dramatically. But the Europeans have been trading the binaries for quite a while, haven't they?
Yes, they have. And as I think the European markets have sort of a different sort of marketplace for over-the-counter retail products in particular.
Yes.
And because those products are allowed to be offered over-the-counter to retail investors in Europe, they've really been able to develop, sort of with a head start, a much wider following. Those binary options can only be offered in the United States to retail investors and retail traders if they're offered on exchange.
Thank God.
So we've been, here in the States, we've been a little bit behind Europe in terms of sort of the distribution and general knowledge of these types of products. But as you said, I think that as people become more and more aware of what they are and how they work and sort of the appealing options that they offer, they will become more and more popular here in the States as well, and we hope that we will be catching up to Europe in that regard.
No, and I can see that, because to go back to the retail market again, you know, what happens, of course, if you're an active trader, equity trading in the United States, you have to have $25,000 in your account, you know, and that's a continual, and you can have the calls. And bottom line is, if you trade more than 3 times within the course of a month, you're a day trader. When in fact, in the Nadex product, you can basically, you know, put up whether it's $15, $25, $30. You know, when I was first doing this, Tim, it was like, hold it, can I really put up $30 and make $30 or make $45? That was hard to comprehend, you know. It really was.
Yeah, it is. It is a different kind of market, and it lets people who wouldn't otherwise have access to the markets, because they don't have $15,000 or $25,000 or $50,000 to put into an account, but they want to trade the markets. They think they have been following the markets. They think they know something about the markets, or they want to learn about the markets and they want to trade them. This is the place they can do it, and they can do it with a relatively small initial investment compared to the kind of accounts that you're talking about.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And folks, as you come over to our website, you're going to see the Nadex banner on the top, on the side. You can hit that banner, just bring it up. What you'll see is that you can open the account right here, right now. It takes all of 3 minutes. They'll put $25,000 in your account. Don't forget, every day at TFNN, 1 to 2 is all about Nadex. On Fridays, we have 9 to 10, 10 to 11 rather, and 1 to 2. Tim, first off, I really want to congratulate you. And I know, so you're the Desnex CEO. So what, they're looking for another, basically, general counsel first, and then you move into that spot, right? Is this how this works?
That's right. So we're in a bit of a transition phase, but we're moving forward, and we hope to have that transition completed sometime in the next month or so.
Now, I see you. You went to Notre Dame. You went to Loyola, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you grow up in Chicago?
I did. Northwest suburbs, actually.
I love it. Okay, there's nothing like a good Chicago guy, right? And then, you know, it's funny. No, there's something about Chicago. I mean, I'm from Boston, but Chicago is a beautiful city. It's a walkable city, but it's a huge city, but it's a walkable city.
It is, and we do love our weather here. Certainly, this past winter was something to behold.
You guys got killed, man. You guys got killed.
Indeed.
And now all you guys need, right? Let's see, tomorrow. So tomorrow's open for you guys. Now we need the Cubs to win tomorrow, or to win this year, right?
You know what? It's the 100th anniversary of Wrigley Field. Nothing would be more fitting than for the Cubs to finally get it done and win a World Series. So this should be the year. I'm on board.
Listen, you know what? I'm on board too. I got a call yesterday we were talking to a guy from Chicago, and then he was talking about the game tomorrow. And I says, listen, man, I'm from Boston. The bottom line, we finally did it. So there's no reason that you guys can't do it. There's no doubt about it, man.
There you go. From your lips to God's ears.
I like it. Hey, well, listen, you have a great one, a safe one. Congratulations again. We really look forward to having you on again, and we look forward to the new liquidity provider, which is One Futures Trading, LLC, and a long and great exchange. Thanks,
Tom,
Tim.
thank you very much.
Okay, man. Have a great one. Have a safe one.
Take care.
Thank you. You stay right there, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. This is TFNN. We're going to be coming right back. We get a lot of numbers coming out, folks. We get numbers all over the place. We have the Dow finish up 65, NASDAQ up 33, S&P's up 9.5, gold down 4, silver up 5. We're going to be right back, folks.